So some of you know that last weekend I entered in the Illamasqua Distinction and Makeup Awards, and if you want to vote on that, the link to that is down in the description box. But I thought I'd run you through the look that I did today. Now, what I used on Annie and what I used on myself are two completely different things. On Anne I used a Graftobian cream concealer. It was a lot heavier than BB cream, but on myself I'm just going to be using BB cream. I'm going to blend that into my skin, and I had a little bit of moisturiser underneath this as well. And as you can see, my skin isn't very happy with me at the moment. It's a little bit spotty, but most of the heavy makeup which will be going on afterwards is going to cover that up, but whatever's left over, I'll just cover that up with concealer. After I've blended everything in and made sure that it's blended into my neck, I then went ahead with some HD powder and just put that all over my face to matte everything out. I don't want it to look too shiny. On the lips I started out with a very natural shade, since later on I'm going to be using a bright red and applying it in a very abstract way, so I didn't want anything which would clash with the colours that I would be putting on later, so I kept the colour natural and applied that all over my lips. Once that's applied, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my eyebrows, and I'm going to be using the darker shades for this. The primer I used on Annie isn't one that I normally use, but it's got slightly concealer-like quality and it's quite drying, which is one of the reasons why I don't normally use it. But in this case it kind of worked perfectly because I did need something which was a little bit drying, because Anne has very oily lids. So I wanted something which would completely take care of that and make sure that nothing would budge, because I would be using quite a lot of creams in this look. So I didn't want anything where I could risk the makeup moving around. Once I'd applied that, I went ahead and lined the eyes and then contoured a little bit underneath the cheekbones. The majority of this look was cream makeup. I used a white makeup which went right above my eyebrow, and then down along the edge of the bridge of my nose, and then it curled around the tip of my nose as well. And the idea with this look is that I wanted one side which looked very modern and like it was from a modern art piece, and then one side which looked like it was a little bit more traditional and looking at highlights, shades, and also so that it combined a little bit with patchwork as well with the threads that you're going to see later on. So one side of my face was more modern and one side was a little bit more traditional. On the left side of my face with the white cream eyeshadow, I drew along where the highlights would be, but I tried to taper it out towards the end. I started out with the highlights, and then where I would have applied any kind of contouring cream, I then used a dark brown and applied that a little bit right underneath, and then again I faded the ends out as well. I added a small black beauty spot right over the white so that there would be that contrast. And then underneath the arch of the brow I'm going to do a curve which is going to lead into the crease of the eye, and then run that darker shade of brown right alongside the white stripe around the corner of my nose, and then pretty much stopping right underneath the white strip that I've already drawn. For the makeup on the other side, I used a variety of different shades, starting off from a lighter skin tone which was a little bit lighter than my own, and then ending in a shade which was considerably darker than my own. And we're going to be starting off with the highlighter, and I applied this where I would naturally have any kind of light hitting my face and where it would be lighter on my face. And I used a square brush, but you could also use an art brush if that's what you have to hand. queen of pain. After that I moved on to a slightly darker colour and then applied that around the highlighter colour that I've already applied. And I'm going to keep using the two darker shades. This is the second to last dark shade, and this I'm going to apply right underneath the highlights of the face. So where I would normally apply any kind of contouring or any kind of blusher. And then along the jawline I'm going to be using the darkest shades possible. But you do not want to use anything like a dark grey or a black. It is going to make it look slightly off. You need to use browns and beiges for this look. And then on the lips I'm going to be doing two stripes of red. One on the Cupid's bow and then one on the lower lip but on the alternate side. The last thing I'm going to do on the lip is a little bit of a Roy Lichtenstein highlighter over the Cupid's bow and then the centre of the lower lip. The brief Illamasqua gave us for this look was art versus textiles, so the idea I had is that the pixel shape on this side of my face would be a little bit like patchwork. So I added red threads horizontally, and then I added blue threads because they tied in really nicely with the headband. So those I kept a little bit closer to my jawline, and I also ran them down the side of my ear so it almost looked like the headband was kind of merging into the look on the face as well. When you need someone, that's when you cry to me. And that's it, that's my makeup look for the Illamasqua Distinction in Makeup Awards. And if you want, the link for how you can vote is down in the description box, and I hope you like the look.